Because, traditional knowledge says that it's a terrible idea to have so many people on the podcast at the same time that they'll talk over themselves, or that you can't use your audio program because it's limited to 4 people. But you brought 6, so why not? Also, you don't have graphics for 6, so Astros has a little tiny block, but he's here. Hey, Astros, what's up?
Depressed.
Of course. And also here is Danger Penguin. What's going on, Danger?
I'm having a good evening. Really excited to see how this goes.
Of course. And Zill, what are you doing, man?
Oh, we're all taking turns. This is how this is going to work. This is the only way this will work. Okay, cool. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Super. And Deverett, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, living the dream.
Amen, brother. So, Double Sniffs, you're also here.
Who? Who's that?
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Double Sniffed is on the podcast and has been for some time. So,
Shocker.
okay, so we were all playing a game together. And it was me, Double, Zill, and who else was in the room?
It's just us, I think.
I thought
Wait,
it was
how
like
come
one
my
more
name
guy.
tag doesn't have a border around it?
Because I didn't have a graphic, asshole. I
Because
just
of
threw
your
it
honor
on
level.
there. Literally,
I'm
your
on
pod-
level 5.
Because
Your
I wedged
podcast
you
honor level.
Yeah, I wedged you between 2 other pictures. You have that much space, and you're complaining about a name tag. Like, oh,
Your LOLA honor level has dropped, so you don't get end of 250 episode rewards.
Yeah, actually, he was on the Clash team.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah. So, so we were all playing Measle and Double, and I think maybe somebody else. And somebody, like, fan joins the room. And they're like, oh my god! Zill, Smurf, you guys are the best! You're my favorite people on the podcast! And Double's just sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, what? And he's like, I am also on the podcast.
Nobody? Anybody else?
Yeah,
Anybody
yeah.
else on the cast?
Yeah, you guys are
Like,
my favorite.
anybody-
Anybody
else?
Anybody else?
Can you name anybody else?
Guys like,
No?
nope.
Astros.
All right.
So,
Not a real fan. He's not a real fucking fan.
so that's been a running meme since that happened. And Double, he's also here on the podcast. Also, to spice things up, I brought back. We're gonna rehash some of our favorite Lola moments and memes and long time running jokes. And I also found us some potential sponsors because we push Patreon like every week. We had a massive downshift, so I thought maybe what I lost in sponsors we can make up, or lost in Patreon support we can make up for in sponsors, right? So I'm pushing just a little taster for all you sponsors out there that if you want to sponsor Lola Podcast, you could get an ad like this. All right, here we go.
The size of Astros BK's webcam on this episode.
You can get a small emoji-style webcam video in the bottom center, but wedged between 2 actual players. So
There isn't better advertising than that.
no, there's just not. Why would you spend your money anywhere else? So this week's podcast potentially brought to you by Corn. Corn, we're a great listener because we're all ears.
Oh god. Oh fuck. Is that the popsicle shit you
Yeah,
told
that
me?
was
guys-
a popsicle joke I stole.
You've been holding on to that rancid fucking joke for 2 weeks.
Well, okay, so I drew it like 2 weeks ago, and I've had to have this popsicle just sitting out on my desk with just the stick, and I'm like, this joke is too perfect because we have to at some point talk about corn for like an hour on the podcast, or people are going to feel ripped off for 250. So at least that's out there, right? Okay, so if
You guys want to go do an episode without him?
what without
Like,
corn?
do we need Blake?
No, not really.
I think we
I
just
don't
get
really-
rid of Blake.
Don't really bring.
Wait,
music.
are you telling me though that you held onto this popsicle stick because that was just beyond your limits to have memorized within the last few weeks?
Correct.
Okay,
I got a lot of
Or
things
write on
going
a piece
a
of
lot
paper.
A lot of irons
A lot
in
of
the fire.
stuff up here.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know
I think a lot
what?
of other sponsors
Well,
to
hold on.
manage.
To be fair, I didn't want to write it in a Google Doc or anything because then you guys might see it and I wouldn't get genuine corn joke reactions.
I have access to all his Google Docs.
Right. So that.
Oh
would be-
really?
Yeah. That would be just not
That's
as
a
fun.
corn client confidentiality issue.
All right. Here, fine. We'll switch. We'll do a different joke. New sponsor. How about that? Right? Is
Red
everybody,
Bull.
everybody cool? with
Really
this?
excited.
All right, here we go. New one. Potential sponsor of the podcast. This one's probably the best one. Ponderous Sea Lions Drug Treatment Center for when you need to quit over and over again.
That one is your best one. I don't see it getting better than that.
Technically, that was Devil's best one. He wrote that one.
So he does help the podcast. I see.
Yeah, he does.
Time to
Absolutely does. Where do you think we come up with this material? Not on our own, obviously.
All right, so this week, here's what we're gonna do. We've been trying to pressure Zill into doing a movie corner where he talks about movies that he should have seen by now as a functional adult, but hasn't because he hasn't. And the community voted, and they voted for Ferris Bueller. And of course, it's been a month and a half, which is ample time for an adult to watch a movie, and he hasn't done it. So instead of actually, why is the screen flickering like that?
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's fun.
Yeah,
Just doing the wave.
Great. So 6 people.
We're gonna give someone
podcast,
enough
Of course,
electricity.
nothing will go wrong. So, of course, he hasn't actually watched the video. I mean, we had high hopes, but he hasn't, so we're not quite there yet. So instead, what we're going to do is we are each going to make up a plot synopsis for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Zill has to figure out between us what the actual plot of the movie is. All right?
Am I the only one that got the memo
This
on
is my
this?
punishment. Is that,
I think it's punishment for all of us, Zill.
Yeah,
so
no, I
that's-
think
Say, this is definitely something that could have been prepared for.
Well, right. Double and I prepared for it. Did you guys?
Yeah,
everyone
prepare
knows
for
that
it?
my rifting is, just the best, top of the line.
a great shot caller, man.
Look,
This should be a piece
just
of
pull
cake
up
for
a
you.
random movie on Wikipedia, and every time it says the main character, just replace it with Ferris Bueller. That's what I'm doing.
See? He's prepared.
Oh my god!
Ferris lost his
Astros,
son, and
what
had
the
to
fuck is
go
going
to
on?
Yeah,
in their
dude.
house?
Find him
And
again.
It's a touchdown.
Yeah.
How about a domestic violence house
Yeah.
sponsorship
There's
here?
gonna be like red and blue
Man.
lights going on, like reflecting off the windows at Astor's house, and it's like.
And he's like, it's 2:50. I gotta stay.
guys, I can't. Well, like
I
the one
can't.
time that we can't use our actual audio software and edit this shit out, and it's like screaming and murder at the Astros house. Okay.
It's not my fault.
At least
So-
it's exciting. That's better than a boring
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, we're like, hey, let's do this idea for Zill, and it's like, ah! in the background.
That was me screaming in terror.
Okay, so Double, why don't you take first turn? At,
All right,
Ferris
here we
Bueller's
go.
Day Off.
This is my version of Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller is recently divorced. His estranged ex-wife has a restraining order against him. He was recently laid off from his job. He grows frustrated as his air conditioning fails while he's stuck in traffic. He abandons his car, goes to a Korean grocery. They refuse to give him change for his car, so he grabs a baseball bat, fucks up the whole Korean grocery. 2 gang members try to rob him, and he fucks them up and takes their guns. A drive-by happens. A couple of people are hit, but not Ferris. Ferris survives. Picks up the gun, shoots the surviving gang member, then goes to a place called Whammy Burger, but it's like 5 minutes after breakfast, so they won't give him an Egg McMuffin. So he gets into an argument and shoots up the whole fucking Whammy Burger. The cops are after him, looking for him, and then he goes to a bank, fucks the bank up, goes to a white supremacist store, fucks up the white supremacist store, and gets a rocket launcher. And then finds some people working on a road. He blows up the road because he's really pissed off. His ex-wife is like in the mix because they know he's running around causing havoc. And at the end of the
Wait,
pier,
hold on. Ferris Bueller's
Still going.
ex-wife is involved in
Yeah.
this? Yeah, okay.
yeah, it's the chick from Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Don't fuck with me on my momentum here. They go to a pier. At the end of the pier, his ex-wife confronts him, and the cop's there, and Ferris pulls out a water pistol, but the cop thinks it's a real gun, shoots Ferris Bueller in the fucking chest like 6 times, falls off the end of the pier. Cop retires. That's my version of Ferris Bueller.
All right, I've got mine
I
ready.
Well,
think
damn.
that's real.
Okay, so that was clearly legitimate. So mine has to be fraud then by, there you go. All right, here's mine. Businessman Ferris Bueller arrives in Krakow at 1939, ready to make his fortune from World War II, which has just started.
Fucking God.
After joining the Nazi Party primarily for political expediency, he staffs his factory with Jewish workers for similarly pragmatic reasons. When the SS begins exterminating the Jews in the Krakow ghetto, Bueller arranges to have his workers protected to keep his factory in operation, but soon
9
realizes, but soon realizes that in doing so, he is also saving innocent lives. He then takes the day off.
He then takes
See how it all ties together
And
there at the end?
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes so much
time
sense.
he rested.
That would actually make sense with the title of the movie. So honestly, as far as choices go, I feel like I'm really leaning towards Blake on this one.
Very
Okay,
good.
I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm
Hey,
ready
Blake,
to pull
Adrian.
this.
Is your version of Ferris Bueller in color or black and white? Just
It's very dramatic.
random question. Just out of curiosity. Is that John Hughes' first black and white movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So, quit giving hints. It's not nice. It's not nice. You're ruining it. So, go.
Okay, Zill, here we go. So Ferris Bueller and his best friend Cameron wake up with huge hangovers, and they're not really sure what to do, and they look out the window, and their car's missing. And they look at each other, and they say, dude, where's my car? So Ferris has got to take the day off so that he can try and find his car. You would be surprised at all of the antics they get into throughout this day, including cults and transgender strippers, and it just doesn't sound real, so I can't go too in
1980s
detail.
classic, really.
Yeah, so it hits that sweet spot right in '86, when all this really started hitting the mainstream. So, but in the end, don't worry, they saved the galaxy. That's Ferris Bueller's Day
They
Off.
saved the galaxy?
Yeah, it's not just the world. It's not just the world.
Is this the plot to Guardians of the Galaxy or The Hangover?
It isn't either. To be
That's neither.
It's Ferris Bueller's
It's-
Day Off.
it's Ferris
Bueller's
Bueller's Day Off.
You really should have watched
Okay.
the movie.
I don't know who to believe
By the way,
anymore. I
keep
feel like
in
I'm
mind-
being lied to all the way around.
Keep in mind, one of us has to give the plot to actual Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It may have already happened. Who knows? But
That's true.
there
That's
you
true.
go.
Way to keep it real. It
Just,
could have already happened.
I don't
Good
know. I
save
get to
there.
give my synopsis.
yeah?
Having never seen the film.
He fixes the cable at the end.
Who's up next?
All right, Astros, do you want it or do you want me to take it?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
can
god.
All right.
I'm not gonna be able to do this, dude. Marlon is overly cautious with his son Ferris, who has a shortened leg. One day, on Ferris Bueller was supposed to go to school. Instead, he snuck off into the beach, went out to the ocean, got captured by a fisherman. So now Marlon has to travel all over the place looking for Ferris Bueller with a person with memory issues named Dory. They come across 3 sharks. Some explosion bombs set around a sunken submarine. They find them at the end. They save a bunch of fish from like a fish boat. And
That
then
was
yeah,
my favorite part of the movie. Was Ferris
Yeah.
Bueller.
That's when they saved the fish.
Yeah, when they saved the fish from the boat.
It was super
I
wholesome.
didn't
made
know
me
it
think
had
of
such
Free
a
Willy, too.
nautical theme. Like
That was a
it
really-
didn't strike me.
Well,
Didn't
it's
strike me
based-
from the title. It was about the sea.
Well, that was the original title. Was Ferris Bueller's Day Off at Sea, and they thought it
I
was too
see.
long.
That was too long, and so they
Yeah, just
Take it back.
fucking shorten it.
take it back a notch.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I guess that leaves me. All right, so Ferris Bueller has spent years perfecting the art of piracy. But one day, he discovers that the long-lost childhood love of his life is in danger. So, he journeys across the land and encounters a gang of 3 people trying to carry out a devious plot involving this long-lost love of his. So, through relentless pursuit, he catches up to them, actually fights a Spaniard with his non-dominant, then dominant hand because of years of fighting, you guessed it. Then he bests a very large wrestler. I mean, he cheats a little bit, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, all is fair in love and war, and there is both love and war involved. So he bests the large man and then outsmarts the third, poisoning him to death. That leaves him to chase down the love of his life, who, you know, in fact, doesn't recognize him, so he's pretty disappointed. Has to dip into his knowledge of large rodent extermination, and then finally almost dies, but, you know, comes back at the last moment and gets the girl and rides off into the sunset with her. So he took a day off of piracy, you know, because pirate's life wasn't for him.
Inconceivable.
I think
And
we all know which the real one is
also-
now.
I know that movie.
Also, Fred Savage was in it.
I've seen
Andrew,
that
I just want you to know that
I realized about
yours
halfway
is
through
my
this that you
favorite.
hadn't seen that one.
Minus. I thought it was pretty
Dude, I
good.
completely forgot about that for so long.
All right, let's. I mean, spoiler alert: none of us gave the actual plot to the movie. That was supposed to happen at some point. So I'm gonna read 2
Well, maybe
more.
you should have actually
Can you name the movies
reached
that
out
we did
to
give
us.
plots to?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Can you name any of those movies?
I know one was Finding Nemo, and then
Good job,
Yeah,
Astros.
good-
Princess.
way
My
to
favorite
really
movie.
disguise it, Astros. Good job.
the Princess Bride, and then God, is there a movie? It's with Jason.
About the
Statham.
Holocaust, there were a
He's like got
couple.
a drilling going, and he shoots up every place he goes to. I feel like that's double snips.
Half and half. Mine was
Okay.
Falling Down. It's a
Dude,
Michael
where's my
Keaton
car?
movie.
Okay.
Where's my car?
Dude, what does mine say?
Oh, I thought that was The Hangover.
It was close.
It is close. They both start with Hangover. That's why.
They're
that's
both
really good
horrible fucking movies.
We
Dude, that
talked about
movie's
Dude,
so
Where's My
good,
Car's a
Double. Get out of
classic.
here.
I love how you're defending that one and not The Hangover.
That movie's so good.
Well,
watched
I
that
thought
when I
that
was,
went
like,
pretty well
12.
for a very poorly.
I have no idea what Blake's one was.
Mine was Schindler's List.
Schindler's List.
Oh, yeah.
Eh,
Well,
I mean, Bueller's List.
don't you
By the way-
forget about
Taking it off at the end.
Holocaust.
By the way, I'm the only one that actually had him take a day off at any point in his thing.
No,
No,
Michael
you did
Keaton
too.
took a
You
day
did too.
off.
He left piracy.
Mine
I'm
skipped
pretty
school.
sure Finding Nemo had a day off in it
He
as well.
skipped school and
Yeah,
swam to the ocean.
that's
Well,
right.
I guess Nemo did technically skip school, so that was probably the closest. Okay, so
Push
plus
it down, touch the
synopsis
butt.
of the real Ferris Bueller, or are you
I
ever
knew I
going to
should
watch
have done
this
a
film?
porno.
Let's keep me a mystery for a while. Let's see if I watch it just out
I
of
mean-
curiosity from this.
Does the plot really spoil that movie, though?
No,
Oh,
It's
it's what,
not
you
exactly
just-
a Sherlock's Holmes film.
I'm a big fan of spoilers in general, but I don't feel like I should.
History.
I don't feel like I should get to know how this movie ends without watching it. I feel like that.
I think
that's-
we should keep Zillion in as much mystery as our listeners are right now. What
Yes.
the fuck is going on in this podcast?
Yeah. Oh, by the
already talked
way,
about
This is
the
a
plot.
League of Legends podcast, wasn't it?
yeah. By the way,
What
if you
about-
guys are
At some point,
if you guys are tuning in to this episode to hear about League of Legends, you made a horrific mistake because we will not be doing that.
yeah.
Check
Yeah,
out
literally
1
trim
through
those other
249.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was-
Jokes
When
on
did,
you for trying to turn into a League
mean-
of Legends podcast and listen about League of Legends. That
when
was
when
a
did Sam
ridiculous
leave?
move.
Like 150? That's
Yeah,
the
that's
last
when we
time we
kinda
were a League of Legends
We
podcast.
started talking about corn and
It's
you
been
know,
nothing but TFT episodes since then.
Ooh. I thought
Hey,
this
we had
was
a
a
pretty good
TFT
ARAM
episode.
episode in there.
It's true.
All right. So, good segment, guys. We'll let Zill ruminate on the actual plot line of that. Oh,
might.
God damn it.
You might
Thi-
also want to now watch some of these movies.
Yeah.
Like
I recommend Dude,
I'm pretty
Where's
sure
My
Dude,
Car?
Where's My Car took the cake there.
Yeah, I think you can buy that movie for $3.99 at this point.
You could just Google
That's
it.
the
and
worst
probably
title
find
for
it
a movie
free.
I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
Dude,
but
where's
it
my
gets
car?
better from there.
Yeah.
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, what does mine say?
Sweet.
Dude, where's your car?
Dude.
Dude, where's my car?
Okay. This segment was brought to you by
Dumb and Dumber is a better title.
Nope.
than Google.
New sponsor, guys. This segment brought to you by Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. When you need to burn 90 minutes of your life because you have no respect for your time and don't mind dwelling on the fact that anyone would host a dinosaur auction in the basement of an old man's mansion undetected for months. Nope, never mind. They're not a sponsor. Fuck that movie. Right in its ass. Now that I think about it, that should have been my Ferris Bueller movie. Ferris Bueller had to return to a dinosaur-infested land because a volcano was erupting, but don't worry, we're going to leave there the most interesting part of the movie within the first 20 minutes. So, enjoy your dinosaur auction. Fucking stupid waste of CGI. Anyway, okay, next segment. Favorite Lola moments. So we've been around for like 250 episodes, and we've talked a lot about varying and odd things. So, guys, what are some of your favorite Lola moments and or Lola memes?
The Astros
Don't all
being
speak up at
toxic
once.
meme is pretty good. Just how false it is.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Night and day different to reality.
Yeah.
I'm on a level 5.
Unlike some people here.
Mic drop.
That's his
literally
argument
the
because
only
there's
thing.
nothing else he can say.
Literally the only thing
Guys,
he could say
I'm
about
on
I
a
haven't
level
been
5.
banned yet. How toxic could I be?
Yeah, we don't report people in custom games.
I did have one chat restriction in all 4.5 years of playing.
That just means
One.
you're bad at talking shit. That's all that thing is. That is a ratio of shit talking. If you're on a
Well, no,
level
'cause
5,
the
it
peop-
just means you can't talk shit. It's nothing to be proud of. Get a
Double,
fucking
what rank
orb.
are you? Stay
Nobody gives
quiet.
a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about an orb.
What rank are you, Double?
Keeping the title.
Push.
So that's your favorite meme?
That's your favorite. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, it involves.
It involves
All right.
me.
All right.
That's fair.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and
Wait, who are you?
Yeah.
You a podcaster?
Good job. Good
That's
job.
I think we
burn.
went there.
Hold
Toss me
on.
back.
One moment. That burn brought to you by the Law Office of Sniffed and Sniffed. Because maybe this way you'll remember he's actually on the podcast.
I'm glad that I get the burn sponsors. That's legit. I was thinking about it, like, there was a moment where Blake always gets the legal questions, which is good because I don't want to be bothered with that bullshit. I don't like to do work for free. And two, it was Wormlax started asking about cannibalism, and y'all rode him for like, oh, okay, hey mom, y'all rode him for like 3 episodes on this, and then he like disappeared. And in my mind, I feel like he went off to explore some type of cannibalism podcast. That's the only thing I can come up with because I haven't seen him
Were
since.
there whole podcasts for that?
There are now.
Oh,
Do you have
yeah.
He's
titles?
on it.
Yeah,
I
Very
can tell
common.
you, but no, I mean we're not here to promote other people's podcasts, especially ex-Lola members.
yeah, no,
you
last
know,
time I
you gotta
actually...
stay loyal.
actually- so I've been keeping tight with Wormlax. And last time I talked to Wormlax, he was online, and he said... He's like, oh, it's really cool. I was like, hey, really cool to see you. He's like, yeah, I'm rarely ever online. I've been living out here in an aboriginal tribe that is yet to be touched by the modern world. And I'm
Does
like,
he not realize
weird-
that he himself is there?
I was like,
constituting
weird
part of the modern
choice.
world?
And he's like, yeah, it's delicious. And I was like, odd choice of words. And he's like, And
My
For a
mouth
minute,
is
I thought he
full.
was like on some ayahuasca binge.
yeah, I know. Actually, I got another one.
That's
here.
terrible.
This segment is brought to you by Wormlax Mortuary Service and Sub Shop. Your loved ones will experience the utmost in respectful care and will definitely not end up in sandwiches. So thank you, Wormlax Mortuary Service and Sub Shop, for your service and sponsorship of the podcast. I appreciate you.
With all
So
these sponsors, can the podcast pay for my tattoos?
I would love
We've
it
told
to-
you what you need to do to earn
We-
money. We have been very clear about this.
Blake has yet to send me the money to get the tattoo.
You have yet to get a
There
tattoo.
are disputes about the location of this tattoo.
Right, there are. And also our Patreon has taken a nosedive in the last month.
That's why we've already
We're going
announced
the
like what
opposite
4 or 5
direction.
different sponsors.
We're gonna have to
That's
sell
not
all your
much.
Yeti mics, guys.
I bought my own. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's donated his Yeti mic towards ass tattoo. So we're getting it
Solid
done.
investment. Yeti mics break down after 5 years. Ass tattoos, it's just forever.
That's
It's
just
a
for life.
lifetime, right? Which is why I figured people would be very supportive of it.
Still,
Yeah.
tell us one of your favorite
Yeah,
moments.
Zil, what's one of yours?
Man, you are gonna like this. My
What part of this
favorite-
podcast do we like?
My favorite moment was when we did like a 2-hour and 45-minute episode on how League of Legends related to anime, and it was a great episode.
Oh, it's so good.
And then Blake fucking lost the audio.
No,
It's like 3 hours of my life I will never get back.
no.
And I think it's what
It's
killed
like any day
Congress'
playing League.
motivation to live. Like he was hanging on until that moment,
Well,
and then it
okay.
was gone.
So to be fair, I didn't lose the audio. I lost all.
He deleted everything.
I deleted
Yeah,
the
I mean-
video,
Oh,
the
damn.
audio, everything.
And it's a
I-
podcast. The audio is what matters.
This guy's a defense attorney, folks.
No,
like,
the-
Your Honor, my client lost everything, not just the audio. Let's get this right here.
So okay, so
That
here's
shit's
what,
all gone.
So here's what it was like right after the podcast was over. It was like, oh god, that was a long one, but damn, it was really good. Good job, guys. Like this is incredible. I'm just gonna hit export. Do I want to? Am I sure I want to export? Well, yes, I am. Click. Oh fuck. Where'd it go? Oh god. Oh god. And then I got on with Twitch support. And they're like, yeah, totally. We can help you. No, we can't.
You're fucked.
You're not an affiliate. Why are you even talking to? How did you get this number? And I'm like, great.
We'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty while we've got you on the line.
Yeah. So we have some fan interaction here from the Twitch chat, and the Twitch chat says Sam Robs comments, "Why is the dude with the most hair got the least amount of screen space?" Okay, I'm glad you're
Yeah,
happy.
don't
about
celebrate
that.
too early.
Yeah,
I'm also
the next
I'm
That
also
question
the,
befits
uh,
this episode perfectly because it
hold
has
on.
nothing to do with League.
yeah, the
I'm
next
also the one who has
This
the
is
most
terrible hair.
fan
This is
emails.
sad hair. Extraordinary.
I have the biggest fan club.
Okay, we have another potential sponsorship that just popped up here. Potential sponsor, Astros fans. Because we definitely exist and are not just Astros wearing a fake mustache. Signed, Astros #1 mustached fan.
It doesn't come out. It doesn't grow right either, but it doesn't come out.
Okay, so, so that was the first part of the Twitch chat.
Shave the sides a little bit.
The follow-up to the Twitch chat, Kick a 33 Legend writes, Astros is ugly as fuck.
He mad! He mad!
Well, the problem is the thing is so small he can't see me clearly. That's the problem. So it's
pretty
pixelated.
sure-
Not
what
sure
she
I
said.
agree 100% with your police work there, Lou.
Pretty sure everybody could see your mom.
I see where that went.
She's not
Really
even
happy
here.
with the direction.
So
So,
good try, bud.
yeah, there you have it. So anyway,
My stepmom, fuck you.
You'll have to forgive me.
Right.
Confused your dog with your mom.
your mom goes.
Oh.
So, all right. So,
Oh, dogs. There's 2 of them.
Zil, I'm sorry.
Is that like
I lost my train of
Anyway.
thought. What was the favorite moment again?
The lost episode.
Oh yeah, the anime episode. God damn, that was
Yeah.
so good. We got to redo that one now.
Mine was being higher ranked than Blake this whole season. It's been pretty lit.
Ooh.
Nice.
Until Endeavor
Shots
it joined,
fired.
I was the leading rank, but I'm by far the worst player, which is kind of fun.
I'm
That
second
is
now.
not true. That is not true. You take that back. Those are lies.
Dude, I'm a solid D40 LP right now. We've peaked.
Oh, you get the D4?
Yeah, I hit it in the middle of the week. That's mean, John.
Did
Tell
y'all hear
Blake how
Blake's
easy it
voice
was.
crack right there?
Oh, you got G4.
Here's your four.
Was my voice cracked?
Mm.
I didn't think it did that anymore. I
Oh,
don't know. I mean, I didn't think it did that anymore.
Nice. That was much better.
All right, Endeavor, what do you got? What's your favorite Lola moment, man?
Oh, favorite Lola moment. I think it's got to be the repeated check-ins on Ponderous's progress with Cat in the Hat 2. Because you can't truly master the jungle until you've beaten Cat in the Hat 2.
It's my off-season goal.
All right, speaking of Cat in the Hat 2, we have another sponsorship here. Okay. By the way, I wrote these down before the show, and we're just triggering them. So these are all there. All right.
fucking minefield out
Yeah,
here.
this potential sponsorship brought to you by Cat in the Hat 2, the video game, because this is the only place we could afford to advertise. There you go.
We need a laugh track for this shit.
I got two.
Oh, okay, we have two. Okay.
I have two favorite moments. One podcasting, one playing. Favorite podcast by far, no doubt about it. Easy ARAM episode. I think we really changed lives with that one. So I'm really proud of that episode.
Which episode was that?
That's the one where me, Zill, and Astros talked about ARAM the entire time.
I don't think
That was a
I
good
there.
episode. You should go listen to it if you
Yeah.
haven't.
It's really good.
What
and
number
if you
is
suck
that?
at ARAM,
I don't
it'll
think
turn
I was
your
on
world
that
around.
episode.
But what if the ARAM meta has shifted since then?
It hasn't.
How like
Trust me. It's the same.
Yeah, what are the S tier ARAM picks?
Oh,
Random.
it's always Sona.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's not
And then
wrong.
my other one is our Clash team, the Lola Clash team. We went up
That was
against
fucking amazing.
fucking
Okay, yeah, that
Diamond
was a great
Smurfs who were fucking just shitting around in the finals against us, and we just kept our heads together, kept playing, got a few picks, got a Baron, came back, and they had one of their AD carry was like 23-3-7, and they still lost, and that was amazing.
A 23-3-7 Kaisa, who is
Yeah.
the strongest champion of League of Legends.
Yes.
With the most overloaded kit.
And that
that's
is
a
what we
collie.
hate. And that was
Yeah.
fun as hell. So that's my favorite game. That we played, without a doubt.
He's gone.
Oh,
He's
okay.
gone!
Wait, did somebody mention a collie?
For all those of you who couldn't
Okay.
see within the small frame, he actually cut up.
The pixel went from black to white and then back. Okay, so another potential sponsor this week. This segment is brought to you by a collie. Enjoy Lola's hold on, backing up. Enjoy Lola's balanced content. Brought to you by League's most green ninja champion.
Well, with Zed's chroma, he's more green than a collie is.
That's perfect Astros reply right there. Well, actually, her cue.
It's no Sherwood Ash, but you know, it'll work.
Ash
She
isn't
doesn't
a
have that
ninja.
much green.
Oh, that's fair.
She's like
I don't
a
know, with
lesbian
her
Robin
buff,
Hood.
With her buff this last patch, she might be. She has an auto attack reset now.
Oh man, I missed one. Okay, I'm gonna back up. The movie segment was brought to you by Zill's Movie Corner and Tanning. Because when it actually happens, it'll be great. Missed that one.
Tanning?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It just, you know.
Every movie rental has a tanning booth in it. It's what they did
Yeah,
when
it's
their
what they do.
business floundered.
Huh.
That's what you do. It's just like every failing lawyer starts selling cocaine. I mean, am I right?
Start selling cocaine. Who
Do what you gotta
quit?
do.
How'd you finance law school?
Yeah.
Oh, my parents.
Well, la-di-da.
They sell cocaine.
Nice. Me too.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, my mom works for me now, so it worked out for her. Shit.
Blake
Look
looks
at
like
her,
he's
you
having a
should see
stroke.
what
I'm
you
like,
pay her. This is terrible.
I do pay her very, very
There it
poorly.
is.
My mother probably qualifies for EBT cards, but my dad's rich, so she good.
It's actually equal parts paralegaling and sharecropping.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird system.
What the
Hey,
fuck
man.
are we talking about?
We've lost all
Sharecropping.
semblance of
It's
talking about anything.
At the end of slavery, they went from a system by which people were literally slaves to which they were figuratively slaves, and you would do a system called sharecropping by which people would work the land for a share of the crops. But in reality,
What a fantastic
just-
life
they're
lesson
just
with
slaves.
Blake. All right, we can't.
But
own
that's a
slaves
history
anymore. It's
lesson.
irrelevant.
That's real, honest to God.
Just
American
because you
history.
weren't alive then, like the rest of us, Astros, doesn't
Did
mean
you
you
just
didn't have.
insinuate that I was alive during slavery?
I said the rest of us.
A danger.
The more you know.
Self-burn there too. Thank you.
Do
Thank you,
you
Double.
remember
That explains why you
the
haven't
normal
seen any
game we
movies.
played not too long ago?
That's exactly
where the person
why.
that, like, recognized us.
Sleep in the mountains for
Yes.
200 years.
They said I was terrible.
Wait, what?
At one point, they were like, "I always knew Astros was better than Danger." It was pretty great.
I have a question. Why is Danger Penguin wearing a hat with the logo of Tony Wonder's goatee on it from Arrested Development?
You,
Did somebody say
you're not an
Wonder?
Arrested Development fan?
Astros was actually waiting in a barrel off camera for someone to say
Okay, I just
Wonder.
realized that the Tony Wonder symbol is actually two losers next to each other. Two
Yeah,
losers.
you're right.
Well, except for it's
I
not
didn't notice
because
that until I actually
an
did
L
the hand
only
sign.
goes one way. So one of these is an L and one of them is a backwards L.
And
Thank
one
you
is-
for that, Astros.
Yeah,
Thank you.
One of those L's is actually
Spot
green.
on.
Because if I did this,
Quality
you wouldn't have
control.
any idea what that meant.
Yeah. One of those L's is actually greener than a collie too.
What about dyslexic people, Astros? What about them? What are they supposed to do? They just can't call people losers? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It doesn't matter. It just won't be spelled right half the time. And if you can't spell loser, who's the real loser?
You never did that to somebody in traffic in your rearview mirror? You're like,
I do those.
edgy.
Yeah.
I'm going to report you. Honor level 5, folks. Flipping off old ladies on the highway. This is our
Only-
honor.
Only been
Honor level
chat suspended
5.
once. So
Only once. 14 day. Alt account. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant.
All relevant.
It's my alias.
Akali Bay is not. Akali Bay is toxic. Astros BK is not.
Yeah, it's his alternate personality.
yeah. So
Mhm. Tell it to the judge.
Shit, man, it's hard for me to think back to like favorite Lola moments because like
You already had some with
yeah, I already
with,
did that with
the real Lola
yeah, I already
podcast.
did that
we're
with
just,
the
we're just
OG
Phil's.
crew. No, I'll tell you this though, like I was actually worried about that like 250A because I was like, man, I haven't talked to Sam in forever. I haven't really like I mean, I talked to Ernie. Ernie still plays and hangs out or whatever. But I was like, man, we haven't podcasted in a long time. I wonder if this is going to be weird. And then we got into it, and it's like, god damn, that's what it's like to do. Like,
No, the new guys are weird. That's what it is.
God damn, this show has gone downhill.
Well, at least we all agree.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. I wish Sam actually said he may come back every now and then for an episode, but of course he said that since he left. So
We need to track
We
his
broke the ice
comebacks
on
with our Patreon money.
Sam's a busy
There
guy.
might be like a
Oh.
hump.
to be fair, it like dove off the deep end, but so that probably wasn't good. So maybe people do hate Sam. I don't know. I find that hard to
No, they just realize we're at the end. They're like this fucking dog just needs to be put out to pasture. I'm not giving them my $250 a month
Okay,
anymore.
So you don't put a dog out to pasture.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
do.
the
Everyone puts
same.
dogs
You
out
don't
to
know his
pasture.
dog.
Come
You've
on.
never had a dog. Spoken like somebody who doesn't have a dog farm. I mean,
Somebody
fuck.
who
you
doesn't
gotta-
have a dog farm. Old grass-eating dogs.
Old.
But,
they didn't put
we don't
Old
have
Yeller
teeth
out to
anymore.
pasture. That motherfucker is the dog. That's
Are
the
we
classic
gonna
dog
have
movie.
Are we all gonna have to come up with plot synopses for Old Yeller for you?
That should have been my Ferris Bueller.
was-
They shoot him. He gets
That
rabies, and
should have been.
and Cameron fucking shoots him.
Ferris Bueller gets rabies, and they tie him to the tree, and then Cameron.
Spoiler alert
Very
if you
normal.
haven't seen Old Yeller. Sorry, the dog gets it at the end.
You just ruined it.
If you haven't seen Old Yeller by now, they got a million dead dog movies. They're all the
Ferris
same.
Bueller is-
I
Where the
mean-
Redfern grows is my favorite.
I was gonna say, yeah, we could just follow up with where the Red Fern grows. All the stories could end in dead dog.
Ferris Bueller
Pl-
and his
Plague
twin.
Dogs is another classic animated film about dead dogs, actually.
Yeah,
All
Ferris
dogs go to
Bueller
heaven.
and his twin, Little Ann.
I thought that was the Michael Vick story.
Oh,
Oh,
I know that reference.
It went bad.
So League of Legends.
All right, League. Let's do it.
Michael Vick jokes.
We've just hit.
We've had enough
12
time to
minutes.
process. Hey, he got to play in the league again, so I don't want to hear it. They let the
Really?
motherfucker throw a football
Yeah.
again. Yeah, oh hell yeah.
Went back and played really well for Philly.
I mean, it's just a
God,
little
of course
long
it was Philly. Only Philly's like,
Yeah,
hey, let's
that's
go
actually
play
true.
ball.
That's-
Hey, try to
He's a halfway decent human being
Throw a
compared to
ball.
everyone else on our team.
This is Brad's place. Brad lives there, for the record.
So do I.
You live in Philly?
Yeah, I don't live in Philly. I live pretty damn
A
close.
suburb
Astros
of
lived in
Philadelphia.
Philly, but then during a basketball game, he got into some trouble, and his mom got scared and moved him to his aunt and uncle's house.
That was the plot of Ferris Bueller.
That's it.
My mom kicked me out. She didn't send me to my aunts and uncles.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
So, we had some emails, and while I'm looking those up, because I want to read them on the show, because a lot of them are pretty good, and we got some new iTunes reviews and whatnot, too.
Are any of them about me?
I doubt it. And did you write any iTunes
then-
reviews for yourself?
And why am I even here?
Yeah, I'm suspicious about any email coming from akalibay@gmail.com. I'm just going to throw that out
Just
there.
throw that out there.
Well, good thing I'm not dumb enough to make the name so similar.
But are you? You could be like a double dumb down. You're like, oh, then I'll have perfect excuse to say it was somebody else.
You think I think that long about my decisions?
You're setting up dominoes. They go click, 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 click. It's called the domino effect.
Effect.
And you also have a stutter issue. I see.
That's fucked up. That's below the belt. That's fucked up.
I can't
Yeah,
believe we went
fucked
there.
up.
Hmm.
That's fucked up, dude.
Ouch.
Didn't we call you the
Where in
taint
Philly
of
do
the
you live, bud? I'm
podcast?
coming. I'm coming knock on the door.
All right. So I'm trying to think back of how far that.
Your
we
camera
went
makes
back.
you look like you're doing something entirely different. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know what you're doing, but
People.
I don't know where you store your emails.
All right, here we go.
It's his own private server.
Yeah. All right. Oh,
Very
this one's
private.
great. I think I read this one already, but I want to read it again. This actually came out the episode right before Ponderous quit League for like the 18th time and has stayed gone. Ponderous Lives, the title of the review. I love the last episode where Papa played cat. It made the episode. What made the episode was Ponderous's input. Please start playing League again so I can listen to you more. I love the podcast, but it's even better with Ponderous.
Dum dum da dum.
Dum dum da dum. All right. Next one, August 24th, from Ricky Rick 7. Super helpful information about how to climb in League. The back and forth banter is terrific as well. Highly recommended. Thanks, man. We appreciate you. And sorry for episode 250B. There has been none of that. All right, League of Legends. Oh wait, hold on. This gets cut off. Lots of lengthy analogies. I tried writing this review last week, but it never showed up. So here goes. 5 for 5 for analogies. 5 for 5 for Wise Papa Smurf stealing all the thunder all the time. 5 for 5 Zill being Zill. 5 for 5. Support the.
What does it
ass-
even mean?
He's a good dude.
They like
He's a
you.
good
You're a
dude.
good dude.
Hey,
Good
take a
dude.
You're
win.
a good dude.
He's a
5 for 5. Support the ass tattoo. 5 for 5.
Ah.
Astros tilt. 5 for 5. Lighthearted comedy and fun. Honestly, a good podcast that I look forward to listening to weekly. All right. Blake.
That's a solid review.
Yeah, August 25th.
Again, Zill was Zill.
From Blake
I
LS,
was apparently.
which I believe is Endeavor, if I recall correctly. I started
might be.
listening to the podcast after I got to Gold. Through listening regularly and joining the Discord community, I've been able to meet a bunch of new people and climb all the way to Diamond. Definitely recommend the podcast to others. MD16237 writes, excellent content. Whether you live in a lead exporter of pewter... What? Oh,
Computer.
Lead.
Blake can't
It's a lead
read.
exporter. I
God
assumed it
damn
was a
it.
lead exporter because that would make sense in context, but didn't finish the sentence. Whether you live in a lead exporter of pewter or really any country, the LOLA podcast will make sure to entrench you deeper into the ELO you've been hard stuck in for 3 seasons. That was a really good one. I like that one.
That
was
is
really
nice.
Nobody exports pewter. It's an alloy. You make it yourself. It's not
And then
ours.
you
It's a-
export it to larger countries. Because those are
To
the
those that
countries.
don't want to make it themselves.
Yeah, those are the countries that have not yet figured out what the export system is and are appropriately third world. So that's where we strike home.
Hey man, they got it right with pewter. We never should have ditched that stuff. It was good. It's a good
so
metal.
Soft. It's like the balsa wood of metal.
Hey, it won't break your coffee table. Can't put a price on that.
Favorite league podcast from RDA Skater. I love the community. I just hit gold for the first time this season as a support main. I blame Astros. I asked a few months ago on the Discord for helps, and he told me not to play Thresh and Silver because it's too mechanically intensive for my pea brain. So I
That doesn't sound like him at all.
Yeah, I
Sounds
know.
like
Not
fucking ponderous.
Who's gonna climb with Thresh and Silver? Like,
The
that's,
I mean, I did,
Astros,
but-
Shit, Blake can't climb with him in fucking gold.
Yeah, flat.
Platinum. I mean, wait, it's Plat season 9, so yeah.
He
it's pretty
abused
much
Brand
all-
to get from gold to plat. This season.
I mean, yes, but not. Because I was already in plat. Okay, now I feel like I need to tell the story of my double seating butt fucked by Riot season that I've had. But
I mean, if
We've
you,
heard
we've
the
heard.
story.
We know
You
the
would
tale.
just-
It's a
will-
just
tale
get
as old
good
as
and
time.
climb.
That should have been your Ferris Bueller one. Ferris Bueller gets hard reset on his Elo like 8 times and then bitches about it the entire season. Takes the season off.
And then everybody
And just doesn't
points
play
out-
the game.
Everybody points
9
out that
times.
they're ahead of Ferris Bueller all the time. But that's cool because he's still handsome as fuck. All right,
He's a righteous dude.
he's a good dude. Ferris
He's a
Bueller,
good
good dude. All right, August 27th from Artist Go Hard. Best LOL podcast there is. This is the first league podcast.
The best Lola
I found.
podcast there is?
The best LOL podcast.
Okay, I was
This
about
is
to say. We're number 2
Careful
on
adding a
okay.
letter on that.
So the guy literally says in the first sentence, "This is the first league podcast I've found." That's the first.
Hey, hey, it's good to be good on the searches. You know?
Look no more.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just stop here. You're good. You've
You
done
have
it.
you have
You
found the
found the
penultimate.
cream of the
peaked.
crop, my
Yeah,
friend.
you've made it. Don't try anybody else out.
You're like
don't
Blake
climb
in
that
season
hill.
9.
Cream of the corn.
The cream of the corn.
Oh god, that's highlight.
Danger's laugh, or not Danger. Fucking Double's laugh makes me want to die.
No, it's because it sounds like he's actually dying, and you're worried for him. I get it.
We're all dying from the moment that we're born.
I don't think that's true. Sounds like a lie.
So, hold on. I'm going to finish this thing. It's rather long. So, here we go. This is the first league podcast I found since middle of season 8. Since then, I've listened to several others, and LOLA is by far the most informative, entertaining, and has the best collection of hosts and characters. Papa Smurf is highly knowledgeable and drops gems all the time. When he's not
Arched up
detailing...
Plat.
Fuck off. When he's not detailing every combo with a terrible analogy, he's giving you invaluable advice and making fun of the other hosts with challenger level skill. I love Killzil and can't wait till he learns a fun champ to hear about. Whoa, fuck.
Fucking shots
I did
fired.
not read this beforehand, but I would not have edited that out.
That would have been number
Damn
one.
it. The sad crying sea lion is.
You know
right.
what's fun about Zill is when no one else has fun in the game also. That's what's fun about Cillian. When no one moves, no one
This is like
does
a pattern
anything.
with you.
Zill's
Zillion-
No one
actually the most
dies.
toxic.
It's so weird because he's such a nice guy in real life.
He's such a great dude.
He's such a wholesome dude. He's a wholesome dude.
Oh, with games like this, with the complexity of League of Legends, it is built on if you don't have fun, there are other people having fun proportional to that. That is how this game works.
It's the same
So, yeah,
logic I
when
use.
I make other
Oh.
people not have fun, I have a great time. That's how this works.
Well, now we know.
Still
That's
for
a
president.
yikes.
Okay.
Basically,
God,
That really
he
escalated quickly.
He seemed like such a nice guy. Okay.
There's a rage within him.
All right. The sad, crying sea lion is great when talking strategies and gameplay, but it's a good thing he quits League every 3 months. Astros is similar to Ponderous in his love-hate relationship of all that exists, but he's a little more consistent with his adherence to the goal of the podcast. Glad to see Danger Penguin is back as well. It's always fun to hear his banner with the 2 grouches. All in all, these guys have
Wait,
fun
who are
with
the Grouches?
You and Ponderous.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I wasn't included in the Danger Duo, I was upset.
Hey,
Yeah,
Endeavor,
you
we're
would've
gonna
lost
start
your
our own
mind.
fucking podcast.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All these guys have fun with the
You
podcast.
can call it the throw-ins.
The
I
forgotten
tune in.
Lolas.
the afterbirth.
What the fuck?
No.
God damn.
That took a
Ew.
terrible route.
Fucking. Ugh.
So to finish,
I'm a nice
this
guy. What?
one- He's a nice guy. You're
Nice
gross.
guy.
I'm a nice guy. Box of placenta helper. It's good stuff.
You gotta eat that shit after vitamins. All in all, these guys have fun
Vittles.
with the podcast and provide great entertainment and info to help you get better at League of Legends. I'm always bummed when I see they have to kiss a week and I'm lost. I assume that means miss a week. And I'm
I'll
lost
kiss
at
a week.
work having to listen to other boring, dry League podcasts.
Trinity Force.
All right.
T-Force.
You got
Patch notes
something
episode.
It's called
Bamboo
S3,
boxers.
man.
Bamboo
Get it right.
boxers.
So, Saltbrush writes, "Great family show. Love the podcast. You hope
The
this."
fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? Who
an
is
interesting
listening to this
story.
with their family? Anyway, great podcast. Love it. You helped this 42-year-old man climb out of bronze and into silver. I began playing to figure out why my 17 and 15-year-old were yelling at the computer. I became addicted. Knowing my old man mechanics are terrible, I decided to compensate with gaining knowledge about the game. I've listened to the podcast for over a year now, and it's been great to build my knowledge. I climbed out of bronze, mostly playing Udyr and taking all the free bronze dragons, rarely contested and easy to take with Udyr. For my recent birthday dinner, I took the family to a burger joint an hour away at a 7-Eleven gas station. Being my birthday...
The plot thickens.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, where the fuck is this going?
This guy's
Where
murdered
is
my
his
son.
family now?
Look, no, this guy's telling a story. There's tons of detail in here. I'm vested. I don't know how this is going to wrap back in and why I needed to know.
This is
that
actually
7-Eleven.
the
He
movie
drove an
Ferris
hour to
Bueller.
get to a 7-Eleven. I
Yeah.
just want that. That's all right.
All right, so he says,
No, it's the burger place in 7-Eleven.
is it? Is there a good birthday burger place in 7-Eleven?
Isn't that what he said? A burger
He
place
said
in the parking
A
lot?
burger joint an hour away at a 7-Eleven gas station. Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah.
I'm super vested in this
Maybe it
story.
was on the
Doesn't
way
even
He
to
know
the
what
said
the
it
story
with
said.
his words.
Okay. Being my birthday, I had control over the radio. Lola it was. My wife pretended to listen, but now I have to listen to her weight loss life coach podcast on her birthday. Thanks for putting on a good show, even though my wife won't be listening.
Even though my wife's fatter than hell.
Oh, God. Thank you for the 5-star review. Please don't regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't play this episode
Don't
with your
play
wife.
this episode for your wife, please.
This is not a family episode.
This is not a family episode. She will not appreciate the comedy. I enjoyed being one of 8 viewers for Game 2 of your recent Clash game. And we
Oh,
are...
nice.
That's cute. That's fun. Great.
Yeah. So thank you guys for those reviews. They really do supposedly help us. We have... I have not looked at our metrics since Malaysia. We lost Malaysia, guys. I hate to tell
I
you
know.
this.
We're
Yeah.
all still
Really.
stinging. From
Guys,
that.
look, Double got thinner.
Really bummed about that. Well, yeah, he
Still just as hairy.
listen to that weight loss life coach, and it just cleared everything right out.
Oh, little
But-
fucky. Oh, hey, bud. Oh, there you go.
He's petting a cat for all you audio listeners out there that decided not to
That are
tune in.
confused and upset.
You know, why he's calling somebody little fucky and just
That's my cat's name.
It's the cat's name, and this is a family-friendly episode.
Yeah,
What a little fucky.
I just figured people would
Exactly.
assume it was Astros.
My cat's not as mentally weak as Astros, though.
What honor level are you?
I think we know from that comment.
Dude, don't get Astros mad. He'll stop talking for 20 minutes.
He was so toxic in
Maybe.
TFT, that's why.
He'll communicate via Morse code with his keyboard taps.
Dude, by the way, shout out to Hash's keyboard, by the way. It's amazing that he can play League on like a 1920s typewriter.
You know my keyboard's the same exact thing, right?
Yeah, but
Nobody
he
cares.
types like an angry something that types loudly.
This
don't
is
Yep,
literally
I'm
the
with
man
you.
who tells me I'm
I knew
not
where you were
allowed
going.
to
I'm really
type in
happy
game
with
with him.
where that is.
This is why we get 5 out of 5 on analogies right here.
right there. I stopped in the middle of the
Quality
analogy and
content.
just gave up. Because I can't
Just
Blake
try.
died
literally-
mid-analogy.
Well,
Blake
like,
literally tells me that if we're playing, I'm not allowed to type.
okay,
So I
I've
just
got
don't
it.
play with him.
I've got the analogy. Have you ever seen a Bugs Bunny cartoon where he plays the piano
No.
and he's
Yes.
standing up at the end?
I have seen those.
fucking
I have
jamming his
seen those.
fingers down into the piano super
It's
hard.
very Marx Brothers.
Yeah, that's how Hash's fucking keyboard reacts to his typing. Is as if he's playing literally that hard that he's trying to, like, I don't know, defeat Elmer Fudd in an opera setting.
I mean, you're never gonna climb if you're not playing hard.
If you're not typing hard, you gotta let him know you pressed Q.
If you're playing hard for 4 hours or more, you need to call a doctor.
That's true.
Disclaimer. Just want to call a
By the
doctor.
way,
Or you're just
I saw a Reddit post where a guy was like, PSA, I had to get surgery because I had an erection for 48 hours. The doctor said my penis could have died. And at that point, I'm like,
League of Legends podcast, boys.
I don't.
Family-friendly show.
Well, no,
Hey.
I mean, like, I think if you advertised Viagra and you're like, hey, you know, you can get an erection, side effects, penis death. Be like,
I
Sign
would
me
write it
up.
down.
I'm still
Tough
giving it a
call.
shot.
tough call. We're doing this. You know,
I mean, you're already not getting any. You could get it one more time and then it dies, you know?
are you talking about me or old people who take Viagra?
No.
Old people in general.
Dude, old
Maybe
people on
you.
Viagra are getting fucking skinned, baby. Let me tell you something. They
Yeah,
don't have
dude.
any hang-ups at all.
Dude,
They're
let me tell
ready
you
to
a little,
roll.
Let me tell you a little story about
No
being,
standards either. But
about being.
Let me
in
tell you a
This is
story about
our
old people
sponsor.
fucking.
Yeah, this is the story that's about. And so I went to
personal testimony.
a
An
nursing
old
home.
man's orgy.
No. Well, more or less. I went to a nursing home, and this guy's like calls me into the nursing home, and he wants to make some changes to like his estate planning documents and things like that. And you know, as I'm in there talking to him, like this woman sticks her head, and she's old, like super resident of the nursing home, right? This woman like sticks her head in, and she's like, "You almost done in there?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be in a minute." And I'm like, "Oh, is that your wife, or you know, is that who we're amending this thing to?" And he goes, "Oh hell no, that's like, she's like my second or third on the side." And I'm like,
Yep.
"What?"
Yep.
Like on the side of, what the fuck are you talking about exactly? And
Oh,
he's
that's-
like, "Yeah, man, this place is the best place I've ever been. It's like a fucking brothel. And you don't have to worry about it, because nobody cares. We're all old. Half of them don't even fucking remember." And I'm like, "No! No! Like, no!
That's the dream, right there.
Blake, can I
He's
ask you a
living it.
question?
Yeah.
Do you normally reveal confidential conversations that you have with your clients in the midst of a legal session and then broadcast them over the fucking internet, or is this a
Oh,
first
no.
for you?
No, this isn't a confidential. I'm not
Oh.
like, oh, by the way, and these are the people who he left in his estate plan. Go talk to them. His name is, here's his social. This is
Fair
an
enough.
anecdote, friend. Does
There's
not.
only one guy in a There's only one fucking old folks home in Caswell or wherever the fuck you live, and there's only one guy slaying it, so everybody knows who he
Everybody
is.
knows who John
Old
Beaver
Man
Slayer-
Winters is.
Old John Beaver Slayer out there. Just-
I remember when you could buy a piece of pussy for a turnip.
They call it menopause because I only have to stop to lube it up.
The best hand job I ever got was from a lady with great Parkinson's.
Where have we gone?
Family-friendly show,
Where?
folks.
Have we
Family
gone?
episode is what it is.
Hey, this is better than your wife's fat podcast. Gonna throw that out there.
Excuse you?
Wife's-
Oh God. So, man, too.
Where do we go from here? Do we want to talk about League?
We can, I suppose. So, I actually made one more promise that I would mention Sea of Thieves because he is absolutely trying to expand his brand recognition enough to possibly be a host on the podcast at some point. So, if you guys would ever like to hear Sea of Thieves on the podcast, please write a podcast review into Apple specifically mentioning Sea of Thieves. And I may make that happen.
Yeah, he's going to have to get support, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing this for free.
Yeah, nobody likes him.
Well, no, it just can't be easy. That's all.
It's the support, guys.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure I've had like 3 full-fledged arguments with him in game. So
I was kidding. That was supposed to be a fucking joke, Astros. Chill the fuck out. We're not really airing our grievances here. It's not Festivus.
The
Not
airing
towards,
of
not towards
grievances.
listeners, anyway.
Grievances. We all need to stand around the LOLA Festivus pole.
I'm just really surprised that Denny's didn't sponsor the podcast.
Oh,
fuck.
God, that was a great moment.
I
Fuck.
literally asked you guys for memes, and you bring
I
one
know.
out in the 102nd minute or some shit. Of
I
this
mean,
episode.
after all the like advertising we gave for them, the least they
Yeah.
could do is support us.
Send us a grand slam or two.
Because there's nothing like when you lose your internet during a tournament, you need to go to Denny's Internet Cafe
So,
to pick it back up so you can lose.
have we reached
Alright.
out to Red Bull about getting me a Red Bull sponsorship yet, Blake?
No.
no, we haven't done that.
What a
So-
shitty fucking host.
So, like, my
But you can get a
son-
free Mini Cooper out of it, though.
I'm gonna tell you
Hey,
guys.
you get an ass tattoo, I'll buy you 3 cases of Red Bull. That
tell
shit'll be
you-
on your front doorstep the next day.
I want a put tattoo on my ass, dude.
Well, do you want 3 cases of Red Bull? It's a yes or no question.
It's
The
very
tattoo's
straightforward.
gonna cost more than the Red Bull.
The witness will answer the fucking question.
So, I decided to teach my son responsibility, right? And it backfired tremendously. Like,
I'm shocked that
Couple
any of
weeks
your
ago.
lessons would backfire.
no, this is great. So,
Was this before or after he took a shit on the floor while we were playing?
no, that's the other one. The other
Okay.
This is the older
Is
one.
this the one that walked downstairs without pants?
Might have been, because that happened twice. So, could have been either one of them. Anyway, so I'm going to teach him about responsibility. We're going to have a lesson. And I'm like, you know what? I feed the dog, so I can't really do that. I was like, what we need is some kind of, like, thing that he can have in his room that's his thing that he needs to take care of, right? And I thought, what's a disposable,
Pet.
pet that
Oh my
wouldn't
God,
be-
it is-
Like where your head's at.
yeah, it wouldn't be that bad if it were to, perish, but I'll probably take care of it anyway, right? And so we went down to the creek and found a whole bunch of crawdads, right? Because there's an invasive species of crawdads in.
How do you know that?
I know that because I tried to identify the crawdad on my phone that I found, and it's like, if you find this crawdad, it's an invasive species. Like,
It's a North Korean crawdad coming in.
yeah, they're like, if it
We got
has,
invasive
Taking
Yeah,
our
it's fucking
chance.
crawdads, too.
well,
It's an
they're like-
Iranian crawdad.
Well,
It's
the funny thing
economy.
is, they're like, if your crawdad is this color, go to point 2. And I'm like, okay, let's go to point 2. And it's like, does
And
your
you did
crawdad
that.
have
You
a-
actually followed that instruction.
Yeah.
You were like, "Oh, well, I have to do this now because
Well, no,
this
I wanted to
crawdad
know what
meets
kind
these
of. I
requirements."
wanted to know what kind it was. So then it's like, if your crawdad has like, what do they call it, a crayfish? We call it crawdad. Anyway, like if your crayfish has a fan-shaped tail with a blah blah blah, then go to point 3. If not, 2A, 2B, like that.
It's a flow chart.
It's like a choose your own adventure book
For
of
crawdads.
identifying your crawdad. Right? So I'm like, okay. And then it gets to the very bottom.
Which one has the overloaded kit?
Yeah, it's like, if you get to the very bottom, and it's like, if your crawdad has black tips on its claws with yellow or orange banding, beware, it's an invasive species that will literally kill everything around it.
It has
Like,
an energy bar and doesn't use mana? Is that what I
yeah,
heard?
basically. It's the ecology
Okay.
of crawdads. So I get, like, we catch, I go out and get an aquarium, like a big ass one, and I get some things for it to hide in, including a replica of, like, SpongeBob's house and, like, a shipwreck over here and, some other crap and put bubbles in it and I put filters on it and all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. My wife goes out and they catch like 6 of them, right? Now,
They just kill each other.
yeah, that's what. Thank you for shortcutting this story. This has been episode
Yeah,
250.
I was really fucking
Spoiler
bored,
alert.
dude.
Yeah,
That's how
Honestly, I
Ferris
was like,
Bueller's Day Off ends.
So, like, I bring all of these crawdads home. We put them all in the tank. Max is super excited. First off, they molt, and I didn't know like how often they did that. So we thought when
What's
it
molting?
died, it's they lose their shell and they just
Ah.
escape from it, and they leave what looks to be a completely dead crawdad carcass, and then they eat it because they want the nutrients back.
It's
Right?
good eating.
Good
Good
fiber.
eats. So they do that. So we thought we lost one like day 1. I'm like, oh, good. Because my wife was concerned that my son might freak out. I was like, oh, good. No, that didn't happen. We're okay. It just molted. It'll be fine. Then like 2 days later, it's a fucking bloodbath in there. There's like chunks of arm and tail and everything just scattered because they straight up apparently just killed the shit out of each other like gladiator style. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
you want dominance.
and like everything that I read online was like, yeah, that won't happen if they have enough places to hide, which they do, and if they have enough food, which my son massively overfed them. So
What are you feeding crawfish?
you feed them like little pellets.
Corn.
You
Actually.
can actually feed them corn. That is on the list of things.
I know that.
Any kind of vegetable, including rotten vegetables. They wanted to make that perfectly clear because why not?
Right.
So you can basically compost for crawdads. I didn't know that. But, yeah, basically it became the inside of a gladiatorial arena in there, and now there are 3 left, 1 huge one and 2 very small ones.
The 2
And-
small ones are probably female.
So, what I
We have
decided
a
to
crawdad motherfucking expert.
do... No, I figured it out. I figured it out, man. So, I bought some snails because they need to clean the tank, and if they're large enough, the crawdad won't kill them. So then I looked that up, and apparently that half holds water because maybe it'll kill the snails and maybe it won't, but they'll clean the tank, and it's like pretty much a coin flip. People are like, yeah, I've had them, they've lived together for months, and then other people are like, yeah, no, the
What
crawdad
fucking people
viciously
are keeping
murdered them.
crawfish as pets?
My kid. Like, he loves it. They're actually super entertaining to watch.
They're more durable than goldfish, from what.
Mm.
And they are more durable than goldfish.
And they
which
taste better.
I
I'm
had
adding a-
goldfish, and then like my mom cleaned the fish tank with bleach because she thought it would be a good idea, and then all my fish.
That's not a good
I'm
idea.
sorry.
That's a rough call.
I also kept a pet snapping turtle in a cooler for a while, and I fed him frogs from my creek. And then I was like cleaning the cooler, and then I forgot to put him in like something so he wouldn't run away, and then he ran away.
Yeah, turtles are fast when they
Yeah.
when
By
they
the
want
way-
to run away.
I found out as well that crawdads are escape artists, and they will literally climb out of the tank and run across your house.
Mm.
True story. And you have to be
Wait, is
careful.
that one playing with the train right now?
A crawdad?
Yeah.
No. I can definitively say no, it's not. Anyway, So
It doesn't have pants on. You might want to cover the
I
camera.
bought some snails and some like guppies and shit to put in there because apparently
Guppies.
Yeah. So check this out. Apparently, crawdads will catch fish and just kill them. They'll kill everything, I guess. But the guppies,
I mean, if you had giant claws, like instead
yeah, I
of
mean,
hands,
fucking A.
would you not just murder shit with them?
Yeah, you can't really blame it. But like the guppies apparently will like reproduce fast enough that like the slow old fat ones the crawdads will eat, and then if the crawdads have the guppies to like try to kill, which they can't because their guppies are too fast, crawdads are too slow, so they have to wait till they're like sick or old or whatever, right?
Oh, they're in the nursing home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when they reproduce. Eh? So anyway, they don't even remember. So yeah, like so that's how you keep the snails alive is because the crawdads leave the snails alone because they try to kill the fish, they can't catch the fish. So like yeah, what should have been we caught some invasive crawdads and this experiment didn't work out is now a full-fledged fucking ecosystem that I have in my kid's room, and it keeps overfeeding them. So they're probably all gonna die.
You
anyway.
gotta
I'm doing
overfeed
my
them.
damn
You know,
best.
Dr. Seuss wrote a book about that. I'm
What,
pretty
like,
sure.
Don't overfeed your shit. Is that
No, hang on.
Did you really write a book on that?
Yeah,
League of
about
Legends
overfeeding.
boys?
How do you know that and not the plot to Ferris Bueller?
Hey,
Because
hey,
when was
check
this
your
book
tone.
written? How old am I? Am I Amish?
Did the Amish have
These-
books?
Are these redundant questions?
I mean, I know the Amish have one book. I just
Yeah, A
didn't
Fish
know
Out
they
of
had
Water.
more.
It's called A Fish Out of Water, and it was published in 1961.
2
Very
books.
nice.
2 books.
It's a two-parter.
And that's about overfeeding your fish?
Yeah, it actually is. And it's actually not by Dr. Seuss, but it is the same artist. So that's how I got
Didn't
that
Dr.
confused.
Seuss illustrate?
No, hang on.
No.
Wait a minute.
Helen Palmer.
Oh no. The book is based on a short story by. So the story is her husband is Dr. Seuss. Interesting.
So League of Legends boys.
We're all
Yeah,
on the
League of
edge of our
Legends. So-
seat.
I'm sorry.
You're fine, man.
Status update. I'm still not quite Mastery 7 with Katarina. That sucks. I keep getting like 18 in 2 games, and it's like, nah, you're not good enough. So, to get an S, because apparently...
Maybe if you'd played in ranked and you climbed, you'd get an S plus or an S.
So, I am back to... I dropped to Plat 4, and then am back to Plat 3. That happened already. So, that was super fun.
Well, now you're going to start climbing during the easiest part of the season to climb.
Yeah,
Facts.
you know,
Yeah, buckle up for October.
coin flips, my man. I love them.
The whole season is coin. It's season 9. It's the season of coin flips.
All right. So, all right. Well, we got one more bit of fan interaction here. The Twitch chat's blowing up. Marijuana Nays says, "Big fan of the show. Episode is important to me because not only am I trying to get out of bronze, but I'm also dealing with an invasive crawdad situation. This is the best of both worlds."
Except for we've given absolutely no League of Legends tips, so you're still going to be stuck in bronze after this episode. I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait for 251.
I mean, your invasive crawdads.
Just make an ecosystem.
Get some
I don't know what to
guppies,
tell you.
throw some snails in there. Crawdads won't kill the snails. They'll try to kill the guppies. They can't do it. It won't work. Clean tank, because those snails.
All right,
they
go
eat up all
back
the algae.
10 minutes and then re-listen to the part where you started talking about this, rather than restating everything.
All right. So, so this is. I guess we'll go ahead and sign off here for 250. Seems like a good point. We've largely ran out of steam, and I don't have any more crawdads.
We had
stories.
steam.
We had a ton of steam.
We
We
used
had so
all
much
the
steam.
Didn't know what to do with it.
There was steam there.
Yeah, there was no steam there.
That was
I've
hot.
been thinking a
steaming
lot. It's been
pile.
coming out of
That's
my
what that
ears.
was.
So,
I didn't bring it. Yeah.
so with that, we will bid goodbye to you all from everybody's favorite podcaster, Double Sniffed.
Mm.
And see you next time. And thank you guys. Heartfelt thank you guys for
Tip of the hat.
sticking with us till 250. I really appreciate it. And, I hope to do 250 more. And, keep up your Patreon support. We really appreciate it.
And by keep that up, we mean increase it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to end in like too sappy of a note, but one of our fans called into the podcast that he wasn't able to do Patreon anymore because he got a rough diagnosis and has some serious health problems. He knows who he is, and so I hope everything works out for him. He's a really nice guy. We've enjoyed having him around the community, and I know the future may be rough, but don't worry about it, man. Not a big deal. We support you right now. You don't need to support us. So, thanks.
Me and Blake make money. Like, we have money.
You don't give any of it to me.
Apparently the rest of us are just like, bored.
What's money like? That'd be fucking
Yeah.
sweet.
So anyway, thank you again, for your support of the show, and I hope that we'll continue to be there while you're going through your things. So don't worry about it, man. I know it
Indeed.
broke you up, but we're here for you. You don't need to be here for us right now. So
Yeah, man. Good luck.
I've dropped Patreon support just because I was tilted off the face of the earth on League. So, I mean, you've got a much better excuse than me.
I dropped it because I got on the episode or on the podcast.
Quick,
And I was
quick,
like,
Ash.
I don't want to.
My way.
I don't want to
Right,
pay
so-
to support myself. That just doesn't
Thieves.
seem smart.
Says the
That
guy
is
who
the
lives
way.
with his fucking parents.
Says the guy who's
No, just
constantly
one of them.
crying
Just
about
one,
not having
right?
enough Patreon money to get an ass tattoo.
Yeah, for real.
No, I want like my real tattoos done.
Boo-hoo, my name's Astrid. I'm honored level 5.
How's
That
Flat 4
was,
Double?
that was spot on. I don't care who
That
you
was a great impression.
Now you just need to grow out your hair and you can perfectly imitate it.
Kali's balanced.
True. Actually, right now she's dog shit, but yeah.
Oh, of
They
course.
gave her a little
Yeah.
bit back. They gave her a little bit back.
They gave her R2 back so she can be great at Worlds.
Yeah, we'll see her there. All right. So with that, thank you guys. I appreciate everybody's support. Keep the reviews coming. Aiden says that's important.
Don't
I-
review this episode.
I believe it.
At least not honest.
Wait for
Yeah,
251.
I mean, you can
Part
review
A is a
it.
great episode.
You
Don't.
can review it.
Yes.
This-
Yeah, cash out at part A. I think
Yep.
that's the best move for all.
Well, the
There's
part
no
A was-
quality.
Why are we giving this advice at the end of the podcast? It's literally useless at this point.
You have a good
Well,
point,
thanks for pointing that
actually.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
Where were you
Astro-
on the show notes list, my man?
Astro's made his quota of calling something useless while we're all together. So there we go. At least that part of the thing has been satisfied.
All right. Thank you all, and good night, everybody.
Fuck this place.
I hope that's on there. Oh, please.